rise and losers fall. Reflexes sharp, minds enthrall. Gamers play, this never ends. SSL, where legends blend. SSL, we fight tonight. Battles in the storyline. From the shadows to the dream, we are the SOOP StarCraft League. We are the SOOP StarCraft League. I want to live every moment I can give. In the now I will thrive. I want to
통신을 내 방식대로 KB 리브 모바일과 함께하는
Hello and welcome to Group E of the round of 24 of KB Live Mobile 2024 SOOP StarLeague Autumn. We have just had our first upsets of the season, as yesterday Group D concluded with Tier 4 and Tier 3 players Speed and C respectively, advancing on to the round of 16. Let's have a word with our 4 players today and see if any more upsets are on the cards. Hi guys.
네, 먼저 이재호 선수 안녕하세요.
Let's start with Light. Hi.
네, 예선을 통과하고 방송국 게시글을 통해서
Having made it through the qualifiers, you posted on your stream saying you thought you would get knocked out on day 1, just like you did in season 17, that you felt a sense of relief. What were the qualifiers like for you? Was it tough?
예선 조금 어려웠던
The
것
qualifiers
같은데
were a little difficult.
떨어졌던 거 생각하니까는
It just felt strange to have been knocked out like that.
사실 이재호 선수는 최근 시즌들의 성적들만
To be honest, if we just look at your results in recent seasons, there's a chance you're not quite satisfied with your performance. With this being a fresh start for the league, this could turn out to be an important season for you.
우승하고 난 다음에 좀
Things just haven't been working out since my championship run. I've not been playing well and have been getting eliminated. My original goal was to get one ASL title. With this being the first season since we changed to SSL, I want to get this championship. How is your form today? All good? I slept well and practiced well, so I'm in good shape. Got it. Let's say hi to ISC as well. After Season 9 and Season 11, you are back in the main tournament. It's been a while. After you qualified, you said things have been rather tough. How are you feeling ahead of your games here today? I'm very anxious, almost as if it's my first time playing, first time qualifying. There's this opinion of you that the reason you've not been able to showcase what you've got is because you do get nervous in this offline setting. Regardless, you showed up early today, you had some pizza with your friends, you streamed a bit. I would assume you've managed to get that stress under control. Would you say so? Yeah, my friends came to support me and it helped create a relaxing atmosphere. I think things will go well today. Were you comfortable during setup as well?
Yep.
Good. Let's now turn to Shine. Shine, on the first day of the qualifiers you lost in the finals by just one map, but then advanced through day 2 with a clean record. Your first match is about to begin. How are you feeling? Not that many Zergs qualified, and even though I do well against Terran or Protoss, the round of 24 bracket came out with me having to play a ZVZ, and it's against Jaedong at that. Things were difficult, but still I tried to come here as focused as I could be. The consensus seems to be your matches are always entertaining regardless, and we do have some maps with interesting features. A lot of people are looking forward to seeing what you have prepared. There are so many cool maps this time around, and I did want to prepare some strategies, but as I just said, in the round of 24, rather than preparing against Protoss or Terran, I just focused on ZVZ. So I might not be able to fulfill these expectations. We're all curious to see what builds you pull out of your bag should you advance to the round of 16. Let's talk to Jaedong as well. Hi. After qualifying, you uploaded a post saying you are really looking forward to this season, that you will do well. How do you feel having arrived to the studio today? I lose all the time in Jamsil, this studio. So today I came more relaxed. I would always practice very diligently in order to win, and I would end up losing. So today I did the opposite. I just came relaxed.
좀 힘을 빼고 경기에 임해보자라는
Oh, so you're looking to play without forcing it? With your losing streak here, many people will be worried, but also excited to see you play. Knowing you have to get past the round of 16, how does this group work for you?
어차피 근데
In any case,
이 조에서 못 올라가면
if I fail to get through today's group, it really doesn't matter what group it was.
당연히
I definitely need to win in the round of 24.
그동안 24강에서 좀 탈락을 많이
I've been getting knocked out in the round of 24, so today I am looking to just play my game regardless of the group. I think I'll be able to advance. Seeing you here in a calm mindset with sufficient practice is a reason to look forward to your games. Let's keep talking to our four players about the storylines unfolding. Light and Shine are the two players who have faced off the most here. Light leads with a 4-2 head-to-head score, with their most recent match being in the round of 16 in Season 14, when Light took a reverse to 1. If you meet in a best of 1, seeing how well you know each other, how would that affect this best of 1? Light?
일단 영환이 같은 경우는
When it comes to Shine,
한 방이 있는 선수라고 생각을 해서
he's like a one-trick pony, so
만나고 싶지 않은 선수.
I don't really fancy meeting him in a best of 1.
하다가 좀 운 좋게
I remember him getting a quick one over me and then me still coming back to win with luck on my side.
선수 같은 스타일을
I kind of prefer safe players like Queen. Shine is a bit scary. Even though Light is leading head-to-head, he would rather not play Shine in the best of 1 if it can be helped. Now Shine and Jaedong are the final two Zergs getting ready to play in the round of 24. Zerg fans must be hoping for the both of you to advance Shine. Who do you think will be advancing to the round of 16 out of this group?
근데 사실 재호 형이 워낙에
Honestly, Light plays really well, so everyone is expecting him to advance in first place. But personally, for the sake of balance, wouldn't it be nice if Jaedong and I, both Zergs, made it out of this group? I see, Shine is looking at the big picture. Yeah, but I see why is he staring me down like, why are you leaving me out? He's sitting right there, that won't do. Now Jaedong, you definitely know what your fans want. Isn't having to play a best of 1 ZVZ against Shine a bit burdensome? It is. A lot of things are based on luck in ZVZ, or get decided through luck. But I have to win. Yeah, you have to win. So your fans are surely praying adamantly that luck guides your hands today. Now YSC, the last time you qualified back in Season 11, you ended up in the same round of 24 group as Light and Shine. And back then you got knocked out with 2 losses. Did you watch the games yesterday? Speed delivered an upset and advanced in first place. I wonder how that made you feel. Did you watch the games? All the variables aligned yesterday, but if they hadn't, then I was hoping that would be the case today. Oh, the bubble burst yesterday? Yeah, that's a bit disappointing, but I'll try to win. Sure. Well, that energy can still have ripples today and work in your favor, which is what I bet your fans are hoping for. The tension is almost palpable here in the studio. Let's hear our players' final remarks before we close the interview. Shine? I keep failing to advance out of the round of 24, but today I'll have a good showing and surely make the round of 16. Okay, Light? I always cut it close in the round of 24, but today I'll make it out with 2 clean wins. Can't wait. YSC? I'll go to the winners match. Got it. And lastly, let's hear from Jaedong. I'll advance today no matter what. Looking forward to it. Can't wait for this group to start. Thanks for the interview.
네, KB 리브 모바일과 함께하는
You're waiting for Group E of the round of 24 of KB Live Mobile 2024 SSL Autumn with not that many tickets to the round of 16 left. Let's kick the matches off and see who makes it through.
Hello, everybody. What's up? It is, God, there's a lot of people in the studio today. It is time to get started here with Group E. You can see it is packed. Seats are filled. Standing audience in the back. Tastosis, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm here for the same reason they are, to see the beautiful fundamentals of Light's Terran play.
In all seriousness, I think Jaedong, massive crowd draw here. He, along with Flash and Bisu, have always managed to produce such a huge audience. Jaedong, not a guy who was active in the kind of revival of StarCraft 1 right away. He was coming in and out a little bit, but in the last couple seasons, he's been extremely motivated to try to perform and deliver. So there's going to be a lot of people rooting for him today.
Yeah, I hope that he gets through. Like, I love Jaedong's play. It has been a lot harder for him than people like Bisu and Flash to be at that same old level. I think his highest was maybe one round of 8, although he does make it in pretty much every season. So he's still very good. He's just not quite that other level that we see from people like, Sulky, Hero, even Action.
Yeah, Bisu, with Flash not participating in now his 4th season of ASL, Bisu's basically the strongest of the players from that era, but Jaedong's not that far away. I think on a really good day from Jaedong, he could totally deliver here. But this is going to be a tough group. We've got Light, teolbo. Am I saying this right?
teolbo.
teolbo, okay.
Or YSC.
Shine and
YSC is the ID he's used in every other season.
Yeah.
I'm really... It's a frustration
I don't know why he changed
watching.
his ID.
Yeah, the branding efforts of anyone involved in Brood War in Korea is abysmal. But it's YSC. I've cast him 1,000 times as YSC, so that's probably what I'll be calling him here tonight. Remember when Shuttle was like, "Call me Eyewater"? Remember that?
Oh, and then he went back on it.
Then the producers even were like, "No, call him Eyewater. He wants to be called Eyewater." And then he logged into the game as Shuttle. And it's like, okay, fuck this. You guys are too stupid. I'm doing this for you. So YSC going to be playing as our Protoss player tonight.
Yeah, and we'll see if he actually manages to get through. I think he's got the lowest chances. A lot of the Korean players are referred to by their actual names in Brood War. It wasn't really until StarCraft 2, and I'll give myself a little bit of credit here. They really wanted me to use the Korean IDs for the StarCraft 1 stuff I casted at GOM TV a long time ago. Sorry, the player names, not IDs. And I had to be like, nobody knows their names.
Yeah.
Everybody knows their IDs. It's going to be incomprehensible if I'm trying to say their Korean names.
Yeah.
And so when StarCraft 2 came out, we had a very big push for that, and that succeeded. And the Korean casters refer to the players by their IDs then, but it does feel like there's still a little bit of defaulting to their names. From time to time. And because of that, a lot of the Brood War players, they don't know the significance of the brand of their ID, which is why I think we now end up with an ID like teolbo, even though we knew this guy was YSC before.
Indeed, indeed. So yeah, again, looking at this group, I do think the top 2 seeds, they are obviously the players that have been most successful in ASL. Of course, Light a champion, Shine has been to the finals. So you would expect them to go forward, but I think if you look at these matchups, there's like a lot of room for upset. Like teolbo versus Light, like or YSC. God, this is gonna kill me. He's a very strong Protoss first Terran player. I think he's not gonna have a good time against Shine and Jaedong, but his Protoss first Terran is very strong. He macros really, really quickly and plays a pretty aggressive style. So you never know. He might pick up a win against Light, and of course Shine versus Jaedong ZVZ. You never know what that's gonna look like.
Yeah, I mean, Shine Jaedong, this should be a fun one to see. I think generally speaking, Shine's a little bit stronger, just in better shape, a little bit more robust. But Jaedong, he's kind of stuck with some of that older style, so we'll see what he brings here now. Light definitely the favorite, though. This guy didn't dominate as hard as we thought he would after Flash stepped away for a little bit. I think a lot of people kind of expected that, like, with the shadow of Flash being gone, then Light would come in here. And clearly and easily dominate Terran. Instead, it's been more of players like Rush, players like Royal.
You know, it's a funny thing about Brood War because he is generally considered the strongest of the Terrans, and like for instance, Snow is generally considered the strongest of the Protoss, but they don't deliver as much in. This is amazing. This this is like distract me how cool this music is from ISC, but yeah, they don't perform as well in ASL, right? So I have a few ideas about that, but I guess I'll wait till we start because I don't want to be cut off by the very rude intro of the game.
Yeah, let's see what happens. I think in a best of one, anybody's got a shot, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I guess if you have a Protoss player who's considerably worse than a very solid world-class Terran, you would kind of expect a cheese, but maybe not. We'll see what exactly YSC wants to do here. He does compete with the very best of the best, even if we don't see him on stage very often.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd still put him in the group of players that probably much less comfortable in general being on stage.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens here.
He's a very good Protoss player, though. Like, he's in KCM Race Survival Series very, very often for the Protoss race. He is one of the best Protoss players in the world, but he is one of those borderline guys where if he's not in a season of ASL or SSL, you're not really like, oh my God, YSC didn't make it. But when he's there, you're not like, oh wow, YSC made it, right? He's one of those borderline guys. He's like the equivalent of Barracks, I would say. Something like that.
Yeah, you know, when he's here, you go, oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so he's here this time. But when he's gone, you might not even notice. You might not even be looking for his name at all here. A lot of support for Light in the audience. I think that Light has... You got to imagine, if you've been playing second fiddle to Flash for basically your entire career, and then he's gone for at least now it's either 4 or 5 seasons now. I mean, this was kind of your shot to come in here and win and crush and dominate. And it just didn't turn out that way. But again, I mean, you know, everything is so competitive right now here with SSL. People are so hungry. There's been so many great online games. There's been a ton of great kind of community-oriented matches here in Korea. So the game's in a very good spot. There's a lot of people, you know, pouring their hearts into this. But he's back again for another season. Maybe this season can be his.
Maybe. We're going to go into Dominator. Let's go.
Okay. We've got YSC here in the top left. Light in the center right. And so far we've had some pretty good games on this map.
Yeah.
Dominator is a rework of Gladiator. It is a map where you start out on low ground in a pit. You have to work your way onto the high ground. There are these rolling hills through the middle of the map. Originally, this was a 4-player map. They turned it into a 3-player map. I'm actually not sure what the rationale for making it a 3-player was, but I'm fine with it.
I actually like this much, much better than Gladiator. It feels actually more balanced to me. I think there's something about how hard it was to continually expand on the 4-player version. Because, like, a lot of 4-player maps, you have to kind of split, right, as it gets late. A 3-player map, there's a bit more action. So I don't know. I really actually, I like this upgrade to Gladiator. I don't ever want to play Gladiator again. So far, Dominator has been one of my favorite maps for the ladder. It's actually been very interesting.
Yeah, I've had some pretty good games on it myself. We've talked about this before, but it's worth mentioning again. I mean, they really brought some maps that I think made for great, more standard games, and you know, making the defining differences, subtle stuff that will change some of the openings and some of the mid game, but nothing too crazy. And so in this game, it's pylon on the low ground with a gateway on the high ground. Now, this generally means you're trying to be a little bit more aggressive than normal. You know, sometimes the gateway can be made as part of the wall. It's actually a very old technique. We've seen it where you put the gateway so that it's much more into the middle of the map, just depending on where your pylon can be in your main. But yeah, I mean, I would just guess there's probably going to be some aggression coming out here from YSC. He's going to try to drive the Terran down the ramp and just bully him the best that he can, because this is a map where you really have to earn your high ground as Terran. So maybe a Zealot, you know, started now, and then after that the Pylon comes down. Just a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, it looks like that. By the way, the building placement of YSC is, in my opinion, hideous. Like, there's nothing technically wrong with it, I guess, but like it.
Well, it's very odd.
Yeah.
The gateway isn't even really part of a wall, which normally that's what you do, is you kind of put it so at least it makes it harder for vultures to go through. It's not really doing that now. The core is, I guess, gonna.
It looks like it. Yeah, it looks like it'll
down
slow
from him
things.
going into his main.
Yeah.
Just because he has to go around it.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of how he set that up, but okay. I mean, I don't think it'll probably affect the game, but that is what it looks like to me. Second Zealot is actually coming out as well. Light gonna pull back. He did get a very fast factory here, so this is not likely to do too much damage. Unless he gets like really unlucky with the way his SCV moves, but I don't think that's going to happen. He's even pulled 2 SCVs to make sure this will be all right.
And he's got another pylon over here in the middle of the map. Okay, so we did see Snow do a build where he went for a crawling Reaver play, but that was versus an expanding Terran. And I should say Snow did this like 4 or 5 years ago. I can't remember which season it was, but this SCV, unfortunately, doesn't go through that.
Yeah.
It's going to be 2 gateways?
Yeah, for sure.
2 more gateways out here?
Yeah. You're very right. You don't really want to go proxy Reaver against something like this. Like, you can just die. But this is the type of build where YSC might upset Light here. Like, there's a real possibility he'll be able to break through a little bit later. He's keeping some pressure on, and Light is being very careful here. He's pulled 4 SCVs while he gets this bunker up. He's already made 6 Marines. So he's taking it very seriously, and you have to. You have to. But now he's going to... His SCV is back scouting. He sees that there's no Nexus, right? He didn't see the gateways, sure, and now he's going to see him. Oh, man. Oh, my God. YSC right now is the luckiest person I've ever seen. This is crazy.
By the way, it's not going to be a triple gateway. It's going to be just 1 extra gateway and the Robo. So it could be...
Oh, it's a Robo?
Yeah, no, I thought it was 3 gateways.
Wow.
But so you could just make a shuttle and ferry things into the main. You could do a Reaver push up here. I think both are fine. I'm sort of blown away that Light isn't checking this really obvious piece of land. Well, maybe he's going to see it now.
Well, sometimes things are so obvious, Tastosis, that you don't...
come on. What are we doing?
This is truly silly. Okay, he finally does end up scouting it.
But, like, that's where you're going to make it. You would... If you're going to do any kind of rush like this, you'd put it up there. So it's crazy to me they didn't check that yet. By the way, I appreciate the placement of the cybernetics core a little bit more now, because I realize you can wall yourself off a little bit better when you're trying to do an all-in like this. But, yeah, let's see if it's shuttle first or Reaver first.
Well, I think it will be shuttle, right? He's got so many Dragoons that would make a lot of sense for him to just grab a shuttle right away to drop some of these units in. Now, a tank comes out for Light. Honestly, now that Light scouted it, I don't think he's going to lose, right? He's getting an engineering bay. He's made a lot of Marines. He's getting siege mode, no doubt. And if he just pulls SCVs to help, he should be able to block this.
Now, when you see the Dragoons run away, that's a giveaway of what's happening. So he's going to start to drop these Dragoons here. Now, the problem is the tank and the Marines aren't that good at fighting the few Dragoons over here. He's going to try to pick up, I think, the next 2. The Reaver should be out any second now. Now, the turrets are pushing to be in a spot where you're not quite going to be in range. He's going to dive on these tanks, by the way. It looks like he's splitting the damage. He is not going to quite get either yet. He gets 1.
And here comes the Reaver, but there are a couple of missile turrets here, so he's got to be very careful. Drops it in the 1 spot a missile turret doesn't hit. Oh, my God. And actually, a siege tank does come down. He's going to need to kill the turrets if he's going to have any chance for this working.
Yeah, and I mean, the repair's been pretty good. He is going to eventually let that thing fall. But, you know, Terran is mining off of 2 bases. The tanks are setting up. There's becoming less area to try to fight on the ground. The Reaver's going to come in over here onto the side and unload and immediately hit that that first tank. He's got to pick up again because he's going to be in range of that turret, you cannot afford to lose the shuttle. The shuttle is really what is allowing you to actually get that extra damage off. And now he's going to go back and pick up a few more units. But I'm starting to feel like there just isn't that much more you can do here.
Yeah, that one tank snipe to give him a little bit of hope, I think. And he's going to continue to try here. His micro is actually pretty darn good. It's not snow level, but he's actually microing quite well considering. Now, 2 Reavers coming out. He's going to bust that bunker. Oh my gosh, is he going to make something really happen here?
Yeah, I mean, driving that away. Oh my God, he lost his shuttle. Oh, man, you just saw him curse as this shuttle and Reaver is gone. I don't even know if
2
Blight saw it.
Reavers. Shuttle and 2 Reavers.
Yeah.
Well, he was going to win the game, and now he's going to lose the game. That's the difference. Imagine if you have 2 Reavers right here. Oh, my God. And he's just shoving. I think this is over, Tasteless.
I mean, I would not blame him if he left. At this point in time, you know it's done. Even though the command center is not over at the expansion, the fact that you lost the shuttle and the 2 Reavers, this all goes back to those few extra shots collected on the shuttle over time. I think he would have been able to come in and break him, too, at this moment. I think he would have been able to get in there. And now, I mean, it's going to be probably another pair of Dragoons picked off here almost immediately. Damage being split. He's going to try to trade the Oh, my God. GG, right?
It's bad. It's bad. GG.
That's a wrap.
Yeah, that was, there was some, I mean, losing the shuttle with 2 Reavers, you just cannot do that. And you can see he's pretty devastated. His build was actually working. I didn't think it was going to, and then he rotated and killed the bunker really, really well, very efficiently. And his micro was very good. It wasn't quite that level. Like, Snow would have won that 1,000%. And YSC, I think he really did have it there until he lost that one turret.
I think so.
Yeah.
But you miss control, and you pay the price. Kind of crazy that Light was missing the scout, by the way. That many moments. It's like there's basically only 1 or 2 spots this can be, either where it was already or just to the other little triangle spot you can build on below that. So,
yeah.
I don't know, man. Anyways, Light is now moving on into the winners match. Unsurprisingly, YSC will be in the losers. Coming up next, it's going to be a Zerg versus Zerg, though. It's going to be Shine versus Jadong.
All right. A fast game followed by probably what will be another fast game coming up here.
Yeah.
It should be an exciting one. I really don't know who to favor between Shine and Jadong. Jadong historically has had better ZVZ, but we'll see. Quick break, and then into our Zerg vs. Zerg.
틀에 박힌 건 그만. 구속은 사양할게. 부담 없는 게 좋아. 통신을 내 방식대로. Live my life. Live M.
코디를 해왔거든? 야, 거기 들어가면 왕과 왕비 볼 수 있냐? 여기 손전등이야! 바지 길지, 걔. 나와주세요. 둘 중에 골라야 된다며. 굳이 이뻐야 한다면.
이재룡 대 광민 숨막히는 경기가 계속되고 있습니다. 막아내면요, 막아내면 됩니다. 루시네이션.
뭐야?
Twist and turn, it's all a blur. In this maze, can't find the cure. Playing tricks inside my head. Round and round, just like you said. Lost in thoughts we can't contain. Heartbeats fast, a winding train. Puzzle pieces fit but break. Nothing's real for heaven.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time to go into this next match. Kind of a crazy short match we had back there.
Yeah.
Wild to see YSC go for that strategy. I feel like you only really see that if they go command center first. I'm not used to seeing players go for that when there was gas taken right away.
Yeah, it's if you could block the scout completely, it would probably bust you pretty quick. You know, I think that it's one of these things where if you happen to run into someone who goes mines and just doesn't know, they're screwed. So maybe if you keep more pressure, like in between where you proxy and the exit, like he did avoid Light scouting it for a while. It's just that, you know, Light got really suspicious when he saw no Nexus. If he had killed the initial SCV a little bit quicker, I feel like that might have worked. And it almost worked anyways.
It did. You know, when he went around to the back of the bunker, I thought, oh, this is going to be really hard to fight. Well, regardless, it looks like we're going to have him going up into that winner's match. Light is. So this is going to be a ZVZ coming up here. We know that right now on paper, Shine should be better, but in a best of one ZVZ, it feels like anything could happen.
Oh, for sure. You know, Jaedong, like historically, it was called like JVZ instead of ZVZ when he was playing because he had the highest win rate by far ever in Zerg vs. Zerg. And like I read someone's analysis of it a few years ago where they actually looked at it, and it wasn't because, you know, rock paper scissors is kind of existing in Zerg vs. Zerg where it's like, oh, okay, you know, the quick pool beats the quick hatch, and you know the defensive pool beats the you know, a quick pool, and the quick hatch defeats the defensive pool, right? So someone did some analysis and said that what it really was that he almost never lost when he had the build order that's supposed to win, right? So his unbelievably decisive play made him very, very strong at Zerg vs. Zerg. But he hasn't quite been able to carry that forward into the modern era. No one really has a super high win rate in Zerg vs. Zerg.
Yeah, it seems like it's a matchup where he had a handle on it, and then people really caught up. You know, it seemed like he had some of the smartest build orders, still the best control. Speaking of build orders, man, I mean, Shine has shown basically the biggest range of play.
Yeah.
He can do normal macro games, and some seasons he does, and then other times he goes for crazy all-ins. You could even know he's going to cheese you, and you don't know which one it is. So, this should be fun.
Yeah, Shine has basically become, look at that, 33% ZVZ. That's rough. That's really rough.
Yeah, that's such a change from the old stat.
Yeah.
You know, but I think each season, I think Jaedong, first of all, has a pretty good mentality about this. I think he does come in here and really give it his all, and then he goes, you know, when you've been the best before, you at least know how you did it the first time. You just have to try to figure out, you know, what is going to work and get the practice hours in and then get in the mental headspace to be able to perform. And, you know, I do wonder if, you know, when we have the studio fill up this much for him, if that does feel weird. You know, it's got to feel great when you're the very best and people come down and cheer for you, but it's got to be a different feeling when you were the best and it still fills up with people, but you're usually losing or not going that far, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Not that I've experienced that, but it is a very different thing than his Kespa days where he was literally the greatest Zerg ever to have lived. But the thing is, he is still very good. He is still very entertaining. He's the same guy. You know, he's gotten older. He's not, you know, he's not able to quite get that high in ASL very frequently, but he's still aiming for it. Like you said, he's been really motivated. He's working hard.
All right, guys, we're ready to go into game number 2 here for Group E. It's going to be back onto Dominator. ZVZ with Shine versus Jaedong. Let's go. Okay, so we've got Shine here in the center right, Jaedong in the top left, so we have the same spawns as the previous game. Real quick plug here, guys. Consider supporting us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/ASL English. Every time we finish a season, a huge chunk of people don't keep up with the subscription, so we're always trying to to win it back, to win over new subs. So if you sign up for a year, it would mean the world for us. But even if you sign up for a little bit, it would mean the world for us. We appreciate your support, and we could not do it without you.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. I mean, we love this game, and we know you guys do as well. And we say this very often, but it really does feel like this game's going to live forever. This is like the fact that it's still being played this heavily, this deeply. We continue to understand more. It really has a feeling like this is the chess of video games.
Yeah, well, it's great that we've got it in the English language here, because we do have new people that want to pick it up and follow it and play it. And I mean, the truth is, it's not that hard to at least pick up StarCraft, right? I mean, most of us did it when we were in middle school. And to get a relationship with each of the units and a feel for, what it means when your own workers get hit by a Reaver or a Spider Mine or something like that. But the fact that this game is never going to be fundamentally changed.
Yeah.
They're not going to make like an upgrade where a drone can fly or, they're not going to change the hit points of the Marine. There's no patch like that coming. It means you can always come back to the game.
Yeah.
And experience it. You can go away again. You could still come back, and you're looking at the same game. And the only other game I can think of that has that's kind of on the same level is Smash Melee.
Yes. Yes.
There are definitely a couple of other hardcore old school, like retro fighters, but I don't know if they have the same size, with all due respect to them, as StarCraft. StarCraft, even though it's generally considered a Korea thing, Korea is a big country with a lot of people and very hardcore into gaming, and a lot of people watch it. So, it's very big, even compared to things that you might think are just more global.
Yeah, now taking a look at this game here, Jaedong means business. He has gone for a very fast 9 pool, sending his lings across the map immediately here. And honestly, I think he's actually going speed. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't see, but yeah, getting that layer very quickly here as well. I think he's going to be able to force a cancel on this hatchery for sure.
Yeah. It's scary because he has to decide right now if he's going to cancel it or not. He's pulling drones, so he's going to keep it around. I mean, this could backfire. Jaedong could just get the kill here. Now, it's going to be about how well you can control the drones. You want to try to drill and then microwave. He actually gets one. He's going to hyper commit onto this. He's going to ignore the... well, hold on. He was... Wait, what?
Well, he got the Zergling speed. Yeah, it looks like he hemmed and hawed there, and suddenly he's in some trouble. He did kill a few drones. The hatchery is super, super low. But if Shine does nothing but make Zerglings here, isn't he going to be in good shape?
Oh, these lings are going to come in here, and there's not that many drones. They're going to try to target one that does go down. He moves out to the side. 2 slow lings are trying to chase this. Meanwhile, Jaedong grabs the rest of his Zerglings up here. 4 Zerglings total as 2 more hatch. Can he come in here and get the hatchery again?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, it's so close. I think he has to back out. Yeah.
And, Shine is trying to do a counterattack here with his slowlings. As Jaedong pops more speedlings, he might be able to fight it, but he actually turns and fights it a little bit early there, so Shine starts to win that. In the meantime, these 3 lings still being microed heavily here for Jaedong.
I mean, he's not mining from his main right now. There is an idle drone here for Jaedong. He grabs that and moves it back. He, due to the... Oh my God. Okay, it's at 70? Oh, he's got to pull out again. This is so insane.
Yeah.
If you kill that hatchery, like, it's so bad here for Shine. At the same time, I feel like Jaedong's doing a good job with what he needs to do back at home. There's not that much gas mining. This is probably going to be a game where you have to go for the Evo chamber. He's going to come in again. 55. Oh, good body blocking.
Right now,
pins that up against the wall.
Right now, it really feels to me like Shine is going to have to try to win with speedlings, right? Like, this does not... Oh, my God, he's going to get it. He gets it. Huge moment here for Jaedong. Really fantastic of him to continually keep that pressure on and actually get the snipe. And now we're on a one-hatch Shine. Dude, there's no way. Like, he has to... I don't even know what he has to do. I don't think he can win from here because he can't afford spores, and we're going to have a couple Mutas fly across the map. Spire's done. He's making Mutalisks.
Yeah, he's got this funny position where he can make the sunken colony. I don't think that covers the extractor on the far left, but I think it covers everything else. GG.
GG. Excellent. Excellently played. Okay, I gotta say something about this, okay? I noticed this from Jaedong, and I didn't mention this coming in, but he's been motivated. Recently, he's been using an ID called JD Reborn, and you can see the mentality of a player oftentimes by what ID they're using. Something like that.
Yeah.
He's really trying to get back. And then I saw the ID he logged into on this game, Endai Jaedong, all lowercase. This is gonna sound silly, like a horoscope or something, but like this is a real thing. Like if you type everything in lowercase letters for your ID that normally isn't all lowercase, it's a different type of feel. And he's using his old clan tag Endai, which I don't even think that's around anymore. So
I don't
like,
think it is.
And if you look at this game, ultra decisive, which is his old style, right? Like, he doesn't do the reactive stuff that Sulky and Hero do. He is a decisive Zerg. He decides when and where and how to engage. And we just saw that all here. I find this very promising.
He looked great, man. I mean, it was a great game. Shine never really got to get started. Talk about discipline, not just diving on the hatch at the wrong moment, because that's how you lose. In high-stakes ZVZ, high-octane Zerg vs. Zerg, where you know, you're both on just a couple of lings and everything can be turned upside down with 1 or 2 misclicks. He had a lot of discipline not overextending onto that and then waiting for the right moment to hit. He even canceled that creep colony, then went back and remade it later once he realized he was only going to lose if he was counterattacked. Guys, short break. Light vs. Jaedong coming up. You do not want to miss it. We will be right back.
틀에 박힌 건 그만. 구석은 사양할게. 부담 없는 게 좋아. 통신을 내 방식대로. Live my life. Live M.
아 맞다. 나 내일 소개팅인데. 뭐였지? 아 내가 옷이 이렇게 없었나? 아 이건 너무 회사가는 것 같고 이거 너무 칙칙하네. 내 퍼스널 컬러랑 안 맞네 이거. 아 입으로 잘하고 없어. 언니들 도와줘. 연기 잘하죠? 오케이 파이팅! 렛츠고! 가자 효진맘들. Let's give it up. 약간 이렇게 내려서? 아 아니지 네가 섹시를 알아? 오! 이거 예쁘지 않아요? 어때? 아 걔는 왜 이렇게 가슴이 큰 거야? 하면 되겠다. 골랐습니다. 감사합니다. 근데 내가 이길 것 같아. 아니 내 건데. 일단 한번 볼까요? 기가 막히게 코디를 해왔거든? 일단 뭐야 바지는 리액션 똑바로 해. 카메라 돌잖아. 야 거기 들어가면 왕과 왕비 볼 수 있냐? 여기 선정능이야. 왜 이렇게 바지 길지게. 나 찍은 거 중에 제일 재밌다. 나와주세요. 둘 중에 골라야 된다며. 굳이 이뻐야 한다면
항상 함께 합니다. 함께 안 한 적이 없어요. 제 인생의 동반자죠. 나름 또 그런 거 있다라는 거에서 뿌듯하게 생각합니다. 그때 그 조연출 분이 참 대단한 일을 하고 계시네요.
Woke up this morning, sun in the sky. Felt like I'm soaring. No reason why. Life keeps on turning. Dreams come alive. Heart keeps on burning. Ready to dive. Destiny calling. I hear it so clear. Future unfolding. Wiping my fear. Paths that I wander. Choices I make, wonder and ponder, route I will take. Stars they are guiding, shining so bright. No more I'm hiding, embrace the light. Destiny calling, I hear it so clear. Future unfolding, wiping my fear. Past that I wonder, choices I make, wonder and ponder, route I will take.
I can't believe we're already here. We're already in the winners match. These games are so short.
Yeah, it's
We barely had
fast.
any resources mined in an expansion. Well, I mean, not all games are made equally.
No,
We
certainly.
are already going to have Light versus Jaedong. This is going to be a great match. I think it's going to be super close. It's going to be cool if Light wins. I think it's also going to be really exciting if Jaedong can take it. I think this is doable for him. I just want to hop into this game.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm not in complete agreement with you there. I am definitely excited. But if Jaedong wins this, for me, that's going to be something that sets the tone for the season in many ways. Light is an unbelievable rock of this matchup. Like, he is a brick wall for most Zergs. You got to have like a Sulky or a hero that can play this beautiful reactive game and kind of like survive his marine pressure and get into that late game. That's not Jaedong's strength in the matchup. So, like, can he hold on to the pressure that Light is going to apply with basically perfect macro? I don't know. I hope so. I want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, you do make a good point, Artosis. Like, Light is sort of immune to Zergs no matter what they do, but let's see, man. Jaedong's very good at crafting up some pretty specific strategies to take down someone just like this. Anyways, guys, the winner of this moves on into the round of 16 here for the SSL. Okay, top left is Light. Top right is Jaedong. And, yeah, I've seen some really cool games from Jaedong where he looks really solid. He can try to get in there. You're right, though. Light is very, very tough in this matchup. Light doesn't seem to have any obvious flaws. And he's very good at the very core TVZ style, right? Which doesn't have a whole lot of workarounds for Zerg.
Yeah. If Terran scouts well and they can macro as well as Light, it's difficult. Like, you kind of have to get to Defilers, right? Like, there's not a lot of other things that can be done. And the thing is, that's where Jaedong loses, I would say, the vast majority of his games. Is he'll be playing a nice game, and then his Sunkens barely aren't ready at like the third base or something like that, right? And that's where someone like Light picks up so many victories. Now, if you can live through that, if you can kind of hold that off and, get into that later tech, okay, we got a real game. But it feels to me like the only players that can really consistently do that against someone of Light's level are like Sulky and Hero for the most part, who are already seeded into the next round, right? It's a lot of these other Zergs, they hit them, and it's like, well, damn, man, what are you supposed to do? It's kind of like Light's Terran versus Zerg in that regard is similar to like watching Snow play Terran, where you're like, well, damn, man, you just have to be a really high level to survive this stuff.
Yeah. So the Overlord's going to come over here and spot this expansion. It is hatch first here for the Zerg, followed up with a very normal pool and gas. So this is going to be a slower game here to start things off. The Overlord being over this position, he can see if there is going to be a command center or not. In this case, it will be a command center. We already have a bunch of resources banked up for that. We don't have any gas taken either here.
No.
There are some cheeses where you would not take the command center and do something weird, but I don't think that would have happened no matter what on this map, just because of where the Zerg would scout you.
And Light's not the type of player to really do that. It's a very rare thing to do. Like maybe in a best of 5 or something. But yeah, you're playing a best of 1. The odds are that Light is, is going to just kind of defend, right? Like he's going to play like a solid all-around macro build. So, yeah, Light is putting on this 1 Marine pressure. This has become so popular at the pro level. You can hit the drone about twice, and then you have to turn around in case they made Zerglings. It's like such
and then you will see players do the moving shot with the drone.
Yeah. And you can't turn to fight this that well because the Zerglings will catch you. You have to be very careful about fighting that drone as well. So that was actually really well done by Jaedong. Really understanding this position basically perfectly. And you can see that the Marine is just barely going to get home.
The SCV is going to loop back around now and try to see, basically to confirm, are you going to go for a layer? Is this going to be the kind of game we expect? Is there any kind of cheese here? And I think Jaedong's just going to go for mutas. So there's a little bit of a cat and mouse game here in the middle of the map. The Marines are going to chase us back out. We've got that Academy coming down here now. We'll see if and when the eBay is going to be thrown down here as well.
Yeah, 2 Barracks Academy. This is an Academy rush specifically. So he's going to be moving out and pressuring Jaedong as quickly as you possibly can. So he'll basically move out at 5 minutes with a couple medics and about 8 Marines with Stim almost done. And, that's where Jaedong's skill starts getting tested. It's like, okay, are you going to make your 2 Sunkens at home? Okay, did you make a 3rd hatch in your base, or are you trying to take it at another base? Right, these are very important things to look at. Now, Jaedong did get Zergling speed very quickly, and here comes that drone. Zergling speed is generally, like, it's a big part of why this build, the 2 Racks Academy Rush, isn't as popular as it once was. Everyone likes to counterattack with Zerglings. Now, he has a wall. Oh, he's going 1 Firebat, 1 Medic. Now, here's the thing. The Lings are going to try to run around this immediately. Like, you'll see. They'll probably go to the left here. What?
Oh, that's a pretty risky move to try to dive on the Firebat.
Yeah. I'm a little bit surprised because he's not trying for the counterattack at all. What you can do is make the Marine medics stay back longer by attempting a dive back into their main, and then they kind of back up and block it. But here, he's just trying to, like, buy a little bit of time. His Spire not quite ready. The Muta's not quite ready. It's good micro by Jaedong, there's no question, right? Like, if Light wasn't paying attention, he might have lost that Firebat and everything. But now he's going to be able to force a cancel on Jaedong's base, right? These are the types of things that I've noticed that Jaedong just isn't dealing with as well as the very top Zergs in the world.
Oh, man. This is painful.
Yeah.
The only thing that could have been better from Light would be if he stayed out of vision and let it finish. But I feel like versus Light, this is already, it feels like losing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. He's behind.
It's like, I hate talking like that, but it's like, man, Light's play is so tight. I think that this is also a little bit too common from Zergs nowadays to put that at the natural spot.
Mm-hmm.
And people are looking for stuff like this. You know, it seemed like at least last season people couldn't find the hatchery. Now it's like, oh yeah, he's at the natural again. This is kind of what everybody does.
Yep, very true. Some Lings coming up with Jaedong. This is kind of the one way that you can try to counterplay that, is to immediately counterattack because they're missing a lot of units. Jaedong dives really hard, but a good repair and plenty of units here. The Firebat's helping out against those Lings that try to run in to help. So Jaedong's not getting the damage that he kind of needed with the counterattack either. You can just see, like, Light is a player that has no real weak points in early game TVZ.
So the Mutas are just going to continue to collect up here. I mean, Jaedong's doing a decent job of pelting these. The problem is that losing that third base really hurts.
Yeah.
Not only is it an expansion, it's a production facility.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like he's going to lose the depot here, Light, but he can basically stay back in power. And what Light has to do is start to get ready for what the next spot he's going to attack into is going to be.
Yeah, the mutas, there is a nice thing that Jaedong can just rally mutas and maybe harass that natural, but you can see how many turrets Light is making. Like, he's even obstructing a little bit of his mining here because he knows that this is, like, the weakest part of his base is this natural. Jaedong flies over some of those turrets before they're finished, and you know what? He is going to get a little bit of damage. He's getting some Marines, he's getting some SCVs, slowing that factory, so that's kind of nice.
I mean, keeping these numbers down is good, right? I think that using the links to try to come in here and hit again. By the way, he's expanding. That expansion going to continue to come along there. I mean, I got to say, the muta damage has started to pick up to the point where I'm kind of impressed. Yeah, he's got to be careful because he can get boxed in here. It's hard to actually get out. I guess that bunker's not full.
Yeah, he might just have to eat some shots by those turrets at the bottom, like fly out on the left of the screen. But he's actually getting so much damage, Tasteless. This is actually incredibly good rotation of the Mutalisks. Incredibly good.
Yeah.
He got so many SCVs, man. Wow.
He stayed inside the main for so long, I thought this is really bad. But actually, he ended up out-positioning Light, getting some kills on the infantry, going back up into the main, then going and getting these SCVs. I didn't really expect that turret at the very top left by the gas in the main to be killed off, but like that went really well. And like, look, if you keep this count of infantry down low enough, they can't leave the base. They can't do anything. Right now, this is about a control group of Marines.
Yeah.
And, you know, frankly, he's killing way more Marines than Marines are killing Mutalisks. So, you know, this is a world where maybe Jaedong could still make this work.
Yeah, his Mutalisk micro has been fantastic. He does have to be a little bit careful about a possible, like, Valkyrie build here. I don't see an armory, so maybe Light will go directly into Science Vessels. I see as a second gas, so that kind of, it's pointing towards Science Vessel play. But just something to keep in mind. If you overcreate Mutalisks here, you know, it's a double-edged sword. Maybe you get a lot of damage, and maybe Light gets to punish you for it.
So he's going to be hitting these Marines as much as he possibly can. And you basically want to bait out the stims, pull back. You know, if you can get enough Zerglings, maybe you try to come in for a surround with that. But the Marines being out on the map this far also makes it hard for you to try to attack into the main and do damage. But Light is starting to accumulate that number where it is starting to get a little bit harder to kind of come in and poke. Looks like this one Firebat's going to come down here in a little bit of a box art fight, and will be fought by one Zergling and one Mutalisk.
And yeah, the bio continues to move across, but it looks like the Lurkers are going to be ready, right? And this is such an important moment because, like, if he gets there and the Lurkers are not burrowed, oh god, we're really close. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You know, he should have the Sunken Colony killed before it hatches. Wow, he's going to go burrow. Oh my god, he gets all three. But did the Lurkers do enough damage? I think there's barely enough Marines here.
Yeah. So many of Jaedong's games look exactly like this. That is exactly Jaedong's Zerg versus Terran versus the top players in the world right now, and that's why we haven't seen him go to the finals of an ASL yet. Like, dude, that was textbook Jaedong games right there. The thing is, he's so good, and against most Terrans, he's going to be fine. But Light gets the cancel on his third, keeps that pressure on. Jaedong does some great counter damage. You can see he's still got that Mutalisk micro. And then his Lurkers are 5 seconds late, so he loses the game.
Well, Light easily moves through this group, proving that he is still clearly the favorite for this. He advances no problem. The question is going to be, you know, what are his games down the road going to look? Because right now, this was just a very easy cakewalk to get into the round of 16.
Well, I like how quickly, by the way, he just runs up to the middle stage for his interview. A lot of players just sit there for a while, but Light is already ready. He's on top of things. He's been in that interview so many times. He knows where to go. And, I mean, you can see here, right? Like, okay, well, he's catching that Firebat. I don't know why we would show that again. But Jaedong definitely was microing well. It's just, it's kind of sad that, you know, he just doesn't have those Lurkers ready when this comes. You see Jaedong, oh man, he missed that movement to the right, so he was just slightly slow.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Oh, you can actually see now that we're looking at the replay. He was zoning out, looking for, he thought the Marines were going to go to the south, not as natural. So his mutas were kind of in between Light's area and the south. third base instead of going closer to his natural to defend. So didn't quite have vision there, unfortunately.
Well, he's not eliminated yet, everybody. We're going to go to that interview now, and then we'll be going to a break.
You're watching Group E of the round of 24 of KB Live Mobile SSL Autumn, and we have our first player advancing through to the round of 16 today. Let's talk to Light. Congratulations. Thank you. You are showered with applause as you move on to the round of 16. This is your 12th time already now, as that pedigree shines through today with a very strong performance. Let's hear how you're feeling first. I'm glad things were easier than I worried they might be. I want to carry this momentum forward to the next round and get a good result. In the first game against YSC, he brought a very strategic build to the table, going for a forward gate and even a robo. You scouted that pretty late, didn't you? Yes. What was going through your mind then? I saw it and I felt it was holdable, but then I got hit and thought, oh, I'm dead. But then, suddenly, there were no reavers. Oh, you must have missed it. Yeah, I got lucky in holding that. Well, in the end, the shuttle died to a missile turret, and that netted you the win. In the winner's game against Jaedong, you kept denying his muses, and then hit a timing. Did you actually see the lurker timing? I was just going to apply some pressure, but luckily he missed my army movement. So I guess I just went in at the right time. Light, you advanced to the round of 16 with ease, having shown great experience in your decision-making all throughout. In the pre-game interview, you said you are more motivated than ever this season, saying you'd like to be a champion again. It seems the first step towards that went really well. I don't remember the last time I managed to get through the round of 24 with such ease. This season should conclude the whole year, so I would like to close it out with a championship run. I would expect your colleagues to keep cheering for you with great vigor in every match. Any words of thanks? First, I would like to thank my Kizu colleagues and my fans for coming to the studio to support me, and the friends who helped me practice. Free Stalk, Saxry, Queen, Solki. Was there someone else? Well, in any case, thanks for helping me practice. Also, my wife cheering for me at home. Now, my kid has turned 9 months old. I'm always happy whenever I see my child laugh. I think that's what keeps me going. Now my kid can always watch this later, right? Right. So I want this to be where I win the tournament. I can't wait to see what this season holds for you when you're drawing this strength from your family. We'll see you in the round of 16. Congratulations. Thank you. And that does it for our interview with the first player to advance out of Group E and onto the round of 16. We'll take a short break and return with the losers match to see who's our second place finisher today.
틀에 박힌 건 그만. 구속은 사양할게. 부담 없는 게 좋아. 통신을 내 방식대로. Live my life. Live M.
Christmas, got the whole world seeing what my vision is. If it's war, just point me to where the mission is. Phone ringing, answer the call, right? Got the heart of a lion, I'm talking all fight. And we keep on climbing after a long flight. Like a star, we shining even at tall heights. Days long, nights cold. My veins, ice cold. I give them all I got, give me all you got. We twisting the plot, so get ready. Yeah, get ready. It's going down. Look at us now. You hear the scream from the crowd. It's going down. We on the prowl. It's the realness we bring it right now. It's going down. It's going down. Yeah, it's about that time again. Face another challenge and survive again. Let the haters know that I've arrived again. Competition got me feeling so alive again.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to the losers match now. This will be Shine versus JYC.
YSC.
YSC. What am I doing? I'm now saying like JYP like it's a StarCraft 2 caster. This is why I need to have the players' IDs on screen,
I know,
guys.
yeah.
I'm just coming out with random letters here. Yeah, this is going to be, I think, a good match here. I would like to have a longer game, by the way. I feel like we've barely gotten into the meat and bones of a StarCraft game. You know, rushes are fine, but when we have too many, I'm like, oh, this is just too bad.
Yeah. People just kind of fall into the first attack is a little bit anticlimactic, but we'll see how this one goes down. You know, Shine, I think, he's in very good shape, I think. I've seen a lot of his games lately, and he is looking good. Yeah, he lost that Zerg vs. Zerg, but, you know, if he can take down YSC here, I give him at least 50% to take out Jaedong in the rematch. Although Jaedong, I didn't feel like was playing poorly either. YSC, on the other hand, like, his play against Light wasn't that bad. Like, he was microing well and everything. Like, a stray turret shot killed his shuttle. He shouldn't have had that happen. A lack of execution. Hopefully he can dial that in here against Shine.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. You know, Shine is, I feel like, maybe the toughest player to go up against in a best-of-1. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
There's really no way you can ever actually plan for what he's going to do next or, you know, figure out what kind of play style he has. He really does play every kind of style. It's never even clear when he's going to cheese, even though we know he's going to cheese a decent amount, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He randomizes his play very, very well. Because he has a solid macro game for sure. All right, we're going to be going into Deja Vu once again here. This is the map that we saw Best absolutely throw, giving away his Corsairs against Action. Hopefully YSC can do a better job.
Yeah, let's get into this. Remember that the loser is out of the SSL, and the winner goes on to face off against Jaedong, which means everybody's rooting against you. So it's a rough road ahead for both these guys no matter what.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any prediction here, Tasteless?
I think Shine's got this.
All right.
Let's find out, though. We're ready to go into this game now. Again, our map is Deja Vu. Let's get rid of one of these players, Tastosis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Shine in the top left, YSC in the bottom. And let's find out what kind of game we're going to have here. I've been enjoying this map, by the way.
Yeah?
I felt like it's had some good games. The middle can be very punishing, especially versus lurkers. We'll see if that's going to be that kind of game this time around. But it's been good. I like the third base placement. I like the extra exit that you have from that third base.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is an interesting aspect, the third base, I would say. Like, the design of it's kind of cool. But for me personally, this is my least favorite of the new maps to play on. It's actually comical trying to play here against Protoss and get a fourth base. It's actually like, I've never played a map where the fourth base is this hard to take. I would love for anyone to tell me where I would be supposed to take a fourth base on this map against Protoss. I would love to hear it, because I'm clueless about it. I can't figure it out. There's not a location.
You know what it's like? It's like a different type of fighting spirit on this map, where instead of the middle of the map being, you get off a bridge and you're kind of in this open area with some temple walls, it's this high ground you fight your way up to.
Yeah, so there's an arc of Protoss units and Psy Storms ready for you on that arc. So if you can kill the Protoss army and push it back, then where do you take the fourth is my big question. So yeah, this map I'm actually not a fan of. Not a fan.
Like, oh my god, he's going to go for Nexus first, and this is a 9 pool.
Uh-oh. Tastosis.
Oh, this is over.
Oh gosh. Shine's going to be so happy his Overlord is even going to find it.
Yeah, he's like, oh, perfect. Why? But that's so odd that he would choose to do that.
Yeah.
On a map where you just have this place that can be scouted.
Well,
so this is a 9 pull, not with speed, but I don't think it's going to matter because the Ling should be able to get here and just kill the cannon. Now, let's see what you can do with probe control. Sometimes the math does get fuzzy here, but everything that I'm watching right now tells me this is done.
Yeah. YSC is going to see that and be like, oh, damn, this is not my best day. Him and Motive
just recoil in his chair.
Dude, him and Motive are going to have a pity party later.
Yeah, I know. These guys, I would love to watch them finish a bottle of soju together.
Yeah, yeah.
Regale the failed cheese that they had to experience here. Now, the probes are going to be pulled. Let's see if he can do any kind of drilling tricks. I don't feel like this placement lets you have any kind of really obvious, easy drills.
He lost his probe, so he can't drill anyways. So it's just like he's...
Oh, that's true.
He's just in the worst shape you could ever be in. Like, he's sacrificing almost all of his probes, and thus might technically hold. But he's barely mining right now, and he's losing so many probes.
Oh my god, he's going to get another one.
Oh, man.
The one Ling is going to stay alive, too, to just be a nuisance.
Dude, he has 9 probes. He has 9 probes right now. Oh, my god.
He's got 8 probes, Artosis.
Oh. And Shine is taking 3 bases during this. In great shape. And look, you can see him, he's laughing.
He smiles to himself like, all right, well, it's done.
Yeah. Well,
I guess I try to play this out now.
Everyone's played this game. From every race.
Oh, yeah.
This has happened to everybody. Where you're like, well, I lost all my workers. This isn't good.
Yeah, let's hope that lightning strikes his house and somehow I got to win that way. Yeah, I mean, it's too bad, but I don't really know why he chose to do this build. In a best of one, you're just exposing yourself to a certain amount of risk. Wow, Shine's going to go for a Hydra bust after this, too.
Yeah, yeah, I can't see why not, right? He's not going to have the money to afford cannons, and if he does, he doesn't have anything else, so you can just transition. Seems like a perfect choice to me from Shine. I think the reason he's doing it, like, he's just trying to take some risks. The thing is, he doesn't have enough of an image built up as a strong PvZ macro player. I think if you have an image built up where it's like, I'm basically so good at the later game, like someone like Rain could get away with this, I think. You just have to look at like the percentage of times your opponent is going to do a build that counters it and see if that lines up with your expected win rate against your opponent with a regular build, that type of thing, right? So
we have seen this. Go ahead.
No, it's just he decided to take a risk, and obviously it has not paid off here. And I don't think it was an appropriate risk.
There's been a steady rise on just kind of macro greed plays everywhere.
Yeah.
In the matchups.
Yeah.
Even in Terran versus Terran going command center first. And it just seems like the natural response to that is going to be people opening up very aggressive again. Unnecessarily aggressive is like what we would have said, 3 or 4 years ago. We would tell people, no, this is the wrong way to play because, you're assuming that they're just going to be greedy and you just want a free win. But now we have so many players that are being greedy.
Yeah.
That this seems to make perfect sense.
100%.
And we have a lot of players that just don't play. I mean, if they don't act greedy, they're normally not doing middle of the road stuff either. It seems like we've had a divergence where it's a lot of hardcore cheese and a lot of super greedy macro. And it'll be interesting to see if this trend stays around for a long time or not. But right now, like what Shine did makes perfect sense because we see a lot of players like this just go for Nexus on 12.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. The leaning towards greed. I agree with you so much, though, that we need to see some cheese to kind of offset it, and then maybe it goes back. But I feel like you also have to, like, look at what your image is. And for YSC, he's not known as, like, a PvZ beast. So I don't know. It's just there's something about this particular choice where this isn't a nuanced risk like Mini might take, you know?
Right. Well, I think Mini's much better at electing when to use this and when not to.
Yeah, even though we actually talk about him sometimes where we feel like it wasn't the right choice, I feel like still it's like makes more sense than what we've seen from YSC. Now, here we go. Shine is just going to bust him. This game is just going to be over. YSC is going to GG.
Yeah, I mean, this game is done. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to slip through there. Okay, GG, he just taps out. That game is over. Shine just running a clinic on these greedy Zergs, or greedy Protosses, excuse me. Another very short, straightforward game.
yeah. It's we're speed running tonight.
Because we saw players like Mini doing this years ago, and now it seems like everybody's kind of caught on to it, but now it doesn't have the same edge that it had when the first couple players that were doing this were doing it, like Rain and Mini, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's very right.
These players of this guy's caliber are more inclined to try to study what the other players that won the previous seasons did, but by then, the idea is a little bit stale, and other players like Shine are going to be very, very aware of it. And that's exactly what we saw back there. So we're going to have a ZVZ rematch. Shine versus Jadong.
Wow. This might be like our fastest night ever, man.
Yeah.
It's getting kind of crazy.
I mean, we sometimes have long ZVZs, but yeah, it's usually very, 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 very short.
And just to throw this in there, the long ZVZs always have Shine in them. Every macro ZVZ that has gone to Hive Tech that I've seen for years, most of them have had Shine. Most of them. I guess the last one was Action Effort, if I recall correctly. Anyways.
All right, guys, short break. We'll be right back.
틀에 박힌 건 그만. 구속은 사양할게. 부담 없는 게 좋아. 통신을 내 방식대로. Live my life. Live M.
Sky so blue, I feel alive. Wind in my hair, I start to drive. Wings of dreams, they lift me high. Nothing's stopping me, I fly. Clouds beneath, I see the town. All my troubles falling down. Heart is light, feel the beat. Dancing to my rhythm sweet. Flying free, defying gravity. Touching stars, my reality. In the air, no boundaries. Love so strong, we're soaring free. Night is clear, moon's the guide. Holding on, we take the ride. Lights below like scattered pearls, lost in our own little world. Light is clear, moon's the guide. Holding on, we take the ride. Lights below like scattered pearls, lost in our own little world. Flying free, defying gravity. Touching stars, my reality. In the air, no boundaries. Love so Every heartbeat, every sigh, up so high, can't deny. Dreams are made of moments gold. In this fire, stories told. Every heartbeat, every sigh, up so high, can't deny. Dreams are made of moments gold. In this flight are stories told.
Walking down the empty street, echoes of the past are sweet. Shadows dance beneath the moon, no mercy coming soon. Heartbeats lost in the night, search for warmth in the light. Moments gone like the breeze, no mercy never ease. No mercy in a restless town, rising up, won't back down. Feel the fire in your soul, no mercy takes its toll. Winds of change calling out, silence breaks with a shout. Faces fade into the dark, no mercy leaves its mark. No mercy in a restless town, rising up, won't back down. Feel the fire in your soul, no mercy takes its toll. Heartbeats lost in the night, search for warmth in the light. Moments gone like a green line, no mercy knows a line. Heartbeats lost in the night, search for warmth in the light. Moments gone like a breeze, no mercy never ease. No mercy in a restless town, rising up, won't back down. Feel the fire in your soul, no mercy takes its toll. No mercy in a restless town, rising up, won't back down. Feel the fire in
SSL continues on here with the final match of the evening. And man, it's been really short games.
Yes.
It's funny because we all know there are short games of StarCraft, but usually we get a couple long, drawn-out ones. And usually more of those than there are necessarily cheesy games, although I don't mind some of the short action-packed ones either. I don't know if this is going to be one of those, though. ZVZ is statistically just so short, it's so hard to even get into mid-game.
Yeah, it really is. I would assume that this is going to be very fast because that, 99.99% of Zerg vs. Zerg games, end at like 50 supply or less. So,
right.
Yeah, I would imagine, but we can hope, Tastosis. Just don't hope too hard, or you might be disappointed.
Yeah. I'm going to hope so hard it might kill me, Artosis. I would love to have a long ZVZ. The problem is that, well, let's see what we get. We're going to be going on to Radeon for our final map, and this is it. Remember, one of these Zergs is out. The other moves on to the round of 16 here in the SSL, formerly known as the ASL. Okay, cross spawns here. Shine, top left. Jaedong, bottom right. Short plug, guys. Patreon.com/ASL English. Please support us. We love you. We could not do this without you. If you've been waiting for that push, you just haven't signed up for Patreon or haven't put your card information on there or whatever, this is your moment.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Well, I am torn here, Tastosis. I'm torn because Jaedong is such a legend. Everyone wants to see him advance. At the same time, Shine is one of the most entertaining players. And I think much more likely, if he advances to the next round, to continue to do well. While I love Jaedong and he's of the skill that we're always going to see him in this tournament, it feels like, when he hits someone like Light, I don't give him much of a shot. But with Shine, I'm like, no, he'll have a plan. You watch. Like, if Shine hits someone like Light in a best-of-3 in the next round, let's say, right? He'll have some crazy stuff playing, like 3-hat lurker macro game into Ultra or something. You know, we've seen that from him. He comes up with these plans where he can hang with anyone for a certain amount of time. You know, there's definitely some volatility to it as well, but that's kind of how you have to play if you want to have chances to go deep.
Yeah, it's funny because Shine, if you just followed all of the ASL seasons, so this is true for a lot of people. I know some of you that are watching have watched StarCraft 1 since day one. There are a large number of people that came in during the remastered area that are from StarCraft 2 or from other games. And if you're one of the people that came in from that era, you might be so much more familiar with Shine than Jaedong, to be honest. Shine's been in like almost every season.
Yeah.
And he did get to a finals. He lost to Flash, which obviously there's no shame. If you're going to lose to somebody, it better be Flash, right? Yeah, you know, he hasn't had Jaedong in the last many years that we've had. Maybe how long has Remastered been out? Or ASL in general been out?
2017. So that's
Okay.
7 years now.
7 years. He's had a couple appearances and he's had a couple of great games, but yeah, he has not had the same kind of presence that Shine has. So be curious what it is for people that have not watched since the very beginning to kind of see these two here together. One might assume that Shine is just, of course, going to move on.
Yeah.
But actually, I think this could be really close.
Absolutely. And I think that Jaedong actually played very well versus Shine previously. Maybe a little bit of a mistake on focusing the hatchery early, but it paid off. He kept decisive, he kept aggressive, and made it work out. Now, looking here, they are cross-spawn against each other, and it is like a hatch-first type of play from both sides. Very quick layer coming up here for Shine, but Jaedong instead looks like he's going into Zergling speed. So a little bit of a difference there. I would say that Shine is slightly favored with these two choices, but not in a I'm going to just go win the game type of way.
So he's continuing to make lings. He's only sent one Zergling out, and that's looping through the bottom left. He did have an Overlord that crosses Zergling up here. Now, is he going to show this right as ling speed finishes? He is putting these lings underneath this Overlord. Are there more lings that are hidden in the back, I guess is what I'm wondering.
I don't know. I see a little group in front of the hatchery, so I think so. Yeah, okay, well, it's only 2, so it's not much of a group, but has at least 2 more back at home. A lot of lings actually being made on both sides. Will Jaedong actually throw down the layer? We haven't actually seen yet, right? And look at that. That's a very good scout coming in.
Oh, gets right through. Okay, so the lings are inbound. I don't see a lot of workers over at the natural. In fact,
no.
He actually hiccups the making of the creep colony. Let's see if he notices that. He needs to make it again. He starts it. In StarCraft 1, you can start a building, then make something else, and the building won't end up starting. It doesn't spend the money until the unit actually disappears.
Yeah.
So this attack in is really comfortable here for Shine.
Yeah.
I mean, the drone is perfectly placed. It seems like Jaedong might just barely have enough links. Maybe not.
Yeah, that one drone actually made a world of difference in there. It screwed up the surface area. It added damage that entire time, and they don't really auto-target a drone. So very annoying to deal with. And now he has a sunken. And I'll bet you that Shine is up a drone right now. We haven't gone around and counted, but I'll bet you he's up a drone, and he has this sunken in place, and his layer's quicker. Like, this really looks to me like a big advantage for Shine at the moment.
It's not looking good for Jaedong. That much is for sure. We're seeing drones being made one by one. The sunk can cover these drones. Is Jaedong trying to set up a tactic where he could run in? I guess not. We're already seeing this exchange go down.
Now, the Spire is done, but we haven't really been checking. Okay, the Spire's still on the way here. I think Jaedong will be okay. Like, we might have some mutas being made already. Yeah, there's the very first one. Is it just going to fly across the map, and is it going to have enough time to actually do some substantial damage before Jaedong gets his own mutas out?
I mean, that's the big question, right? Cross distances, it's pretty far.
Yeah.
You can feel the travel distance with the mutas there. The Lings haven't come in and done much yet. We do have 2 gases being mined for Jaydong. So his gas is going to pick up a little bit more quickly. Shine is finishing the gas over at his base, but doesn't have drones in there yet. Looks like it's about to finish, excuse me.
And by the way, like, he's been chasing down the Zerglings quite a bit. And he's, in fact, looking because he thinks there's going to be a counterattack. There's not. Jaydong has actually been a little bit greedy with his gas intake. He's going to have a lot of mutas, and I bet you he pops a bunch of Scourge and tries to get some aggression done. I feel like Jaydong has... he's definitely dictated the flow of the game, without question. Which, is, again, is what we want to see from Jaydong. That is Jaydong's style, is the super decisive Zerg. And he showed that in Game 1 against Shine, and I feel like he's showing it again here.
Yeah, Shine may be being a little bit too cautious here and allowing Jaydong to actually be really greedy on his side of the map. Having all this extra gas coming in and still coming in now. Should be a lot of mutas and a lot of Scourge here.
Well, he's going to remove
take someone out.
Yeah, remove some Overlords. We have Zergling counterattack coming up by Jaydong. Only a single sunk in there. Does he just run past it? Yeah, it looks like it. Really strong move. Oh my god, Jaydong is going to actually deal a lot of damage here, I think.
No way. Is he going to go for the Spire?
No.
That can't be it.
Yeah, I think he should have gone for the drones 100% there. I'm a little bit surprised about this attempted...
The reason why you make the Spire there is so the Lings can't surround it.
Yeah.
It's actually like a perfect place to put the Spire. But there's a lot of mutas coming in here. He's still going to get a drone kill or 2.
Yeah. That's a lot of Lings to only kill 1 drone.
Uh-oh. Scourge is here. Can he try to kill that Overlord?
Okay, a single Ling for Shine getting into Jaydong's base. He will be able to clear that pretty quickly. Not, yeah,
Shine
a couple...
only with 2 in gas.
Jaydong with 3, though. So, yeah, he is definitely mining a pretty significant amount more gas. I don't know what the actual Mutalisk counts are right now. Ooh, nice turn there by Shine.
So the Scourge and mutas are just collected out here for the time being. Did we have an upgrade on one of the mutas? I actually did not see.
I don't believe we have upgrades yet.
I don't think we have any
It's been
yet.
such an aggressive game, I'd actually be really surprised if anyone afforded an upgrade. But look at this nice move from Shine. Flies in, swipes a couple drones while his Lings are being dealt with. Really, really smart. And look at that, his Scourge come in from a flank and get some good damage. More Scourge flying and getting hits. And they actually have the exact same amount of mutas right now. But we actually had 2 more Scourge
did hit on
there.
Shines.
Yeah.
Now, when you're in this fight, you basically can't get out. If you start to run away, you're going to be killed by moving shot. And it seems like, actually, I think Shine might just barely have a little bit less.
Yeah, but his Scourge came up and forced Jaydong to not follow anymore. But you're right. It looks like he's 1 muta down at the moment. Very, very close. So he did get some drones there. So he might have actually taken a slight lead economically after that little move.
We're getting confirmation both sides, either mining 2 to 3 on gas. Looks like Jaydong's been consistent the whole game. Shine had a drone offered at 1 or 2 moments there, but mostly has been mining 3 gas since finishing that extractor. Both these guys walking through the game with a black eye at this point in time. It's been a real action-packed fight. Seems like he's going to get a sunken colony over here, maybe a little bit afraid of Ling counterattacks. Nope, no upgrades still here for Jaydong. And the same is true for Shine. It's been a very tight game.
Now, right now, Jaydong sitting back much more defensively at the moment, making his own sunken. Doesn't want a tiny amount of Lings coming in and ruining his day. The way that sunken is placed is to make sure that it can kill Lings while they try to go up the ramp. So you'd place it closer to the hatchery if you wanted to really defend the drones at the natural, but this is more of a... You're going to pay a price for trying to run through type of situation. Oh, Shine made a Spore. Okay, this is actually an important moment because, again, Shine is one of the only players that is truly willing to get out of the Mutalisk rat race, you know?
Right.
Like, he is,
right.
Out of all the macro ZVZs I've seen, he has been one that I've seen in them. Him and Action are the 2 that I see repeated in those games. So... The fact that he made the Spore makes me think he might be considering an alternate looking game where it's not just Mutalisks. Now, maybe it's just going to be upgrades. Maybe he just realizes, oh, I'm down a Muta or two. But the Spore definitely changes things here.
Yeah, another Spore over here in the main. Is he going to actually just go for this? You know, the Scourge can just keep chasing this. There's not a lot of room for the Mutas to try to escape from, but overall, Shine basically guns down, I would say, enough. The third base is being started here at 6 o'clock. Jaedong seems to be extremely eager to try to take a fight, and I think what Shine wants to do is basically just sidestep it, just stay back and buy a little bit more time. There's more Scourge coming in, which usually means that it is, again, going to be another dive in here from Jaedong.
There's 3 Spores up, though. I don't know that he can really do that. Now, he is going to clear this Overlord. I think Jaedong has the right idea since Shine is on the back foot and he's turtling up with those Spores. He's taking this third. And now the choice that Shine has is a very tough one. Is there a way for him to actually rally back with the 2 gases? I think if he assumes that a third base is being taken by Jaedong and Jaedong isn't going to dive over the Spores nonstop, I think you have to look at that and say, okay, well, I'm going to either need to try to sneak a hatchery somewhere, or I'm going to need to tech. I don't know what else there could possibly be.
Well, I mean, the longer you have one guy on 3 base and the other guy on 2 in ZVZ, the more pressure there is on that 2-base player, right? I mean, he's going to have to come up with something. The armor upgrade done. Nothing here for Jaedong yet. Do we have any Queen's Nest here for Jaedong? We don't, right?
No, nothing as of yet. You know, the fact that he has that armor upgrade does give me a little bit more hope for Shine's position, right? If Jaedong just doesn't get an upgrade, he doesn't have one yet. But if he doesn't get one, +1 Mutalisk armor is one of the strongest upgrades in the game in this mirror matchup.
Yeah, it's a good point. And, you know, if he gets that armor, you have to assume he's going to get the attack, too. He comes in here, he spots the base. Interestingly, he doesn't commit. There was at least one more drone that he could have picked off. But I think he wanted to take the damage that he could get off and then pull right back out. Now, in ZVZ, if you have that armor upgrade, it is so good versus the other Mutalisks because the glaives bounce and the armors negate each bounce from the glaive.
One thing to note is if you do stay and fight the hatchery, it gives your opponent time to clone all of his Scourge onto your Mutas perfectly. So getting out of vision range really quickly can be a very valuable move if you're afraid of Scourge. Still no upgrade here for Jaedong, but he does have a little bit more gas income, so maybe that can make the difference. Of course, with Shine, like you can see, Shine is just flying in, killing a unit, getting out. So he's kind of keeping the gas in check while he gets his own third base. I feel like right at this moment, Shine is slightly outplaying Jaedong, but Jaedong strategically has done a great job getting this third base up.
Yeah, Jaedong now here with 2 control groups of Mutas. The Scourge are going to come in, though. Oh, my God. Jaedong's Scourge are also ready to strike. They both back up. For now, looks like Shine going to use at least 1 control group to try to come in here and take some swipes. He tries to split those Scourge. It doesn't seem like they get that many targets, unless I'm misreading this. It seems like most of Jaedong's Mutas survived that.
Yeah, I did hear at least a couple die. So I think that Scourge swipe in was probably reasonably good. Okay, +1 Mutalisk armor is done for Jaedong. Jaedong actually has a pretty considerably higher supply right now. Look at this, a 15 supply advantage. He's got this gas really up and going now. And yeah, Shine's going to continue to add Spores. It might be time for a Queen's Nest.
I can't believe it. We might be going into a late game here.
Maybe. I mean, the third base is a big step. The thing is, Jaedong has been mining this for a bit longer. It does seem like he's slightly ahead. You can see Shine throwing down a lot of static D. I think he needs more than that, though. 1 Spore isn't going to be a game changer here. I think 3 to 4, absolutely, but obviously that's very expensive.
Yeah, and he doesn't even have that many minerals coming in right now.
Yeah.
So I think Jaedong can come in here and try to take a fight right now. I mean, there's so many Scourge here from Jaedong.
And you can see some pretty good targeting here from Shine, flying up and getting what he can. Has a lot of Scourge coming up as well. This is a pretty wild ZVZ. I know we're not going to Hive or anything, but this is a pretty wild one. This is on the very outside of what we ever see in Zerg vs. Zerg.
Yeah. It's kind of a super powered up macro game. Okay, he's going to go for another fight again here. This time he's going to try to hit the Spore. this should make Shine's position very vulnerable, but a lot of Shine Scourge come in there and connect. And Jaedong is dominating. Oh my god, I think Jaedong's going to win this game. That is all the mutas. And you can see even Jaedong cocks his head back in his chair, kind of this moment of relief, like, okay, the hard part is done.
Yep.
I got the damage I needed to get. You know, in a game where it's all about muta accumulation, once you win that fight, it's usually a really easy closer from here.
Really nice play here from Jaedong. He should be quite happy with himself. You know, getting out of this group where you have Shine, that's very, very good. Now, Shine is doing a little bit of a counterattack, but I think that just the lack of Mutalisks are going to cost him this game. Spores alone cannot really hold this. Third base going to fall, and I think Shine is just, he's getting ready to tap out.
Yeah, I think he's basically looking at this game and trying to figure out where exactly it went wrong. Jaedong's going to keep wiping the mutas out. So many more Lings are going to come in here. There's just no way to ever catch up to the muta count. And so there it is, GG. Jaedong is moving on to the round of 16. That is so exciting.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a little bit chill-inducing to see he's the only Zerg that has advanced alongside Sulky and Hero, who are already seated up there, right? So this is a big result for Jaedong. And while the game against Light was a little bit rough, Light is the best at that macro TVZ that Jaedong is weak against. So let's not count that against him. Maybe this is going to be a really good season for Jaedong.
We saw the audience cheering his name earlier, Jaedong, over and over. It's funny, when he wins, a lot of times he doesn't look like he's won. He looks still like he's, I don't know, it's like a angsty, reflective. But anyways, he made it. That's great for him, great for his fans, great for the show, if we're going to be totally honest, for Korean viewership. And, you know, every season, it's a new chapter. It's a new moment to try to get back to where he once was. If you could win this SSL, it would be huge. Certainly won't be an easy road he'll have to go down, but so far, so good, man. He took down Shine in a great ZVZ.
Yeah. Really well played from Jaedong. And you can see their drone counts were very, very similar. It's just Jaedong got that Mutalisk advantage. Don't forget, he opened up with like a Zergling rush that absolutely did not work. But he kind of greeted up behind that. He kept an aggressive stance. He got his second gas quicker and was able to kind of catch up on that Mutalisk count and even surpass. Ooh, even a little Zergling counter. Very nice. Really well played ZVZs from Jaedong.
Yeah, I don't think he actually caught that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played really well. I would like to get some insight into Shine, what exactly his plan was, sporing up and then taking the third base a little bit later, because it wasn't very clear to me. But, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Jaedong just leaned into those mutas. He got those the second gas up really early when Shine was basically trying to prepare for any kind of counterattack. And, yeah, I mean, he just played a really solid game. And from here, I mean, Jaedong moving on. Just one more group left here for the SSL. We're going to be going to an interview in a second here when Jaedong is ready and on stage, and hear how he's feeling now that he has advanced.
We have just wrapped up Group E of the round of 24 here at 2024 SSL Autumn, as this player right here once again stamps his name on the round of 16 after a long while as our first Zerg player to do so this season. Jaedong, congratulations. Thank you. You have finally broken your losing streak here at the Coliseum and returned to the round of 16 after 3 long seasons. The fans seem to be so happy. How are you feeling? Feeling so good. Now, playing a best of 1 in ZVZ is a feat in itself, but today, you've managed to beat Shine twice in a ZVZ. It must have been draining both physically and mentally. How was it today? I'm very sad about the winners match. It's still on my mind. Before playing the elimination game, if I'd kept thinking about that, it would have been a headache. So I just tried to keep things simple. In the first match against Shine, you went for a speedling opening that let you win quickly. So for the elimination match, you must have had a lot going through your mind when it comes to the builds. I would always suffer build order losses here in Jamsil, just wouldn't be on my side. So
어제 제가
when I practiced at home yesterday, I watched some of Sulky's games.
근데 그 오늘 한 제 빌드
And he played the build I used today. So I just decided to copy that.
김민철 선수가 지난
Oh
시즌
wow,
우승자도
last season's
이재동
champion
선수에게
Sulky
이렇게
is having some good
좋은
influence on
영감을
Jaedong
줬던 것
today.
좋은 영향은 아니고
No, that's not it.
너무 빡셌어요.
It was just the game was just demanding.
경기를 하면서 이영환 선수와 이 스코지 뮤탈 싸움이
In that
정말
match against
계속해서
Shine, the
치열하게
Scourge Mutalist battle was
했었습니다.
very fierce. It kept going for so long.
정말 긴장을 늦출 수가
That
없는
is a situation where you can't really get nervous for the sake of your army control.
이영환 선수의 업그레이드가 살짝 앞섰을
Now you
때
actually held out even though he had an upgrade lead for a while.
경기에서 중요한 승부처가 됐나요?
Do you think that was a crucial moment in the match?
네. 어차피 제가
Yes, I knew my expansion was much quicker.
업그레이드 뒤지는 타이밍만
So if I just managed to hold that upgrade difference, it would open up a timing opportunity for myself. Luckily, things went well. You were ahead in supply because of your quick expansion and realized you could win after holding that one timing. And only after the Mutalist fight, you guys took at 9 o'clock, we could see relief finally wash over your face. How did you feel then?
컨트롤이 너무 안 되더라고요.
My micro just wasn't good that game. Oh really?
계속 이게 제가
Yeah, during the game, I knew I was ahead, but my Mutalists
계속 좀 스컬지에게
kept getting caught by Scourge.
되게 스스로 좀 자책하고 있었는데.
I actually had to reproach myself.
마지막에 좀 제발
I thought, please let this game end here.
다행히 싸움이
Thankfully, I won that fight,
안도했던 것 같아요.
and I just felt relieved.
저저전 단판을 두 번이나 치른 이재동 선수기
You have
때문에
taken two best of one ZVZs, which were by no means easy.
오늘보다는 조금
It feels to me you'll have an easier time preparing for the round of 16 if you end up getting to play the other races.
근데 요즘에 좀 자신감도 많이 생기고
I've gained some confidence recently, and my games are going well.
좀 개인적으로 기대하고 있어요.
I'm personally looking forward to the round of 16 as well.
이재동 선수의 오늘 경기력이 너무
Many people gave their praise as they watched for how well you played today. I wouldn't be surprised if we have just as solid a turnout for your matches in the round of 16 as we did today. Any words for the fans?
제가 지고 나서
I would always end up talking to the fans after having lost, and today, for the first time in a while, I'll be able to say hi to them having won. Nice. And do you have anything to say to your colleagues? First, for helping me practice, Killer and Hero, thank you, and Rush as well. This time I hadn't practiced as much, on purpose. It seems to have had a positive effect. And I saw C advanced yesterday too. It made me realize the amount of practice you put in maybe isn't as important. Anyway, I'll try to do well in the round of 16. And lastly, thanks to the KDE students for coming to the studio to support me. And the boss of KDE, K, he's surely streaming right now. So my thanks to him, and lastly, my fans, thank you. Once again, congratulations on making the round of 16, Jaedong. And that does it for our interview with Jaedong, the second player advancing on today.
All right, guys, well, there you have it. We had another, I gotta say, definitely the shortest day, right? That had to have been quicker than all the other days. We oddly, the longest game was a ZVZ. How crazy is that?
Yeah, probably the best game there as well, for sure. Very cheesy, aggressive day, but awesome to see Jaedong and Light get out of there. Like, those are some great choices to move forward. That Terran lineup looking pretty deadly for the round of 16, almost half of the makeup. Our next match, very, very likely to get another Terran, at least maybe two, with JYJ and Mind both playing. Free and Stork, though, don't underestimate them. 2 of the 6 dragons going to be fighting for a spot in that next round.
Yeah, this should be a fun one. Possible full-on TVP deep dive here. And if we don't get that, I'm fine with the TVT. I'm fine with the PvP going forward. But, yeah, that's going to be it for the round of 24 after we're done with that. By the way, and I need to make sure that I say this when we're doing the recording, but once we're done with Group F, there is I think, over 2 weeks until we have the round of 16.
Yes.
So, because this happens every time. I'm going to say it. It doesn't matter. People are going to not remember, not know. But it's not. Round of 16 isn't the next week. It's not even the week after that. There's a big holiday.
Yep.
So
this happens
it's
every
going
year.
to feel like the show stopped, and it hasn't. Okay, so please be aware. I know that part of it is that you guys are avoiding spoilers the same way Tastosis and I are, but please remember the schedule that there is no ASL or SSL, whatever you want to call this show, after that. So you're going to be waiting the moment it's up, which it's usually posted about 36 hours after the Korean broadcast happens. You'll have it right away. It'll be on the Patreon.
Indeed, indeed. So one more group to go, and we'll see if it's going to be half Terrans up there or not. Only 3 Zergs ending up going to that next round. Of course, I think Sulky and Hero 2 are the big favorites of the tournament, but it's definitely gearing up to be like a very interesting round of 16. I actually can't wait for the group selection to see who's going to be like undervalued or overvalued there as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Check out the Patreon if you can. And we love you guys. We will see you as soon as possible here as we get recording of Group F banged out about 24 hours from when this is recorded. So it should be out pretty quick. Bye-bye.